Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're shifting gears a little.
Yeah, definitely.
You asked us to look into something, well, closer to home for some of you. We're digging into the weekly police and sheriff reports from Antigo
Yeah.
and Langlade County.
Right. So forget the usual academic deep dives for a moment.
Exactly. Think of this like we're grabbing coffee and we're dishing about the surprising, the funny, the maybe slightly weird stuff that happened locally this past week, straight from the reports.
Our mission here is basically to pull out those little nuggets, the wild stories, the classic small town moments you only find in places like this.
We're not using names, obviously, but if you're local, you'll probably recognize some of the spots we mentioned.
It's really about getting a feel for the pulse of the community,
Yeah.
through these everyday incidents.
Okay, so let's jump in. June 25th. Kick things off pretty early.
It did. Just after 1 a.m., there's this civil complaint. Someone left a voicemail.
Yeah, saying court orders weren't being followed. Now, a civil complaint, that's usually a dispute between people, not like a crime, right?
Exactly. It hints at some background drama, maybe an ongoing issue, legal stuff getting messy between folks.
And you see that a lot in smaller towns, don't you? Personal disputes turning into official calls.
Oh, absolutely. These things often have long histories. Law enforcement ends up mediating more than just crime sometimes.
Then, still super early, like before dawn, there's a welfare check. Lincoln Street and Fifth Avenue.
Right, someone seemed confused. But turns out they were just waiting for a ride.
See, that's interesting too. A simple misunderstanding becomes a police call. Shows people are looking out, maybe.
I think so. It's that sort of informal community watchfulness. Someone sees something slightly off, they make the call. Usually ends up being nothing serious, thankfully.
Okay, moving from confusing to just
Yeah.
strange, but long-term parking complaint.
Ah, yes. The vehicle parked for years.
Years in a resource center parking lot. How does a car sit for years? I mean, really?
That's a head-scratcher, isn't it? Finally getting moved because of some work being done. It's almost like a time capsule.
Makes you wonder about the story behind it.
It does. And it touches on those tricky property issues. When does patience run out for an abandoned item on your lot?
Meanwhile, back on the streets, some actual crime fighting.
Hmm?
Traffic stop, Superior Street and 4th Avenue, around 10:30 a.m.
Yep, recovered stolen items. A good reminder that amidst all the quirky stuff, there's serious police work happening too.
Definitely. But then, gotta love this one. The Fast and Furious moment on Deleglee Street.
Oh, I saw that. The report said the car hit a bump so hard.
All four tires left the ground. Can you picture it like something out of a cartoon?
Totally.
Right.
A real Dukes of Hazzard moment in Antigo.
But classic twist. Officers couldn't find the car afterwards. Maybe it just flew away.
Huh, maybe. Or it just vanished quickly. Shows how fast things happen
Yeah.
and how tricky it is to respond sometimes.
And you can't have a week without a couple of parking lot incidents, right?
Seems not. There was a hit and run at the Dollar Tree on 64. Someone backed into another car and just left.
Did they find them?
Yeah, they did. Got cited. No insurance, stuff like that. Pretty common outcome, unfortunately.
And then another one, Fleet Farm parking lot over on Neva Road. 2 cars.
Right, and this one had a specific citation. Unsafe packing.
Unsafe packing. In a parking lot fender bender, what does that usually mean? Like too many bags of mulch?
Huh. Probably not quite that dramatic. It usually means something inside the car wasn't secured. Maybe shifted when they braked, blocked their view, or even interfered with the pedals or steering.
Ah, okay. So loose items causing trouble even at low speeds. Makes sense.
Exactly. Simple things people overlook.
Okay, let's switch over to Langlade County. The sheriff's reports always have their own flavor.
They certainly do. June 25th, 6:21 a.m., County Road H. A complex civil complaint.
Another one. What was this about?
Landlord versus a former acquaintance. Claims about who lived where, stuff left in a barn,
Oh boy.
and even someone trying to get utilities shut off using false info.
Mm.
Deputies ended up advising on formal eviction steps.
Wow. Just shows how personal disputes escalate fast in a close community, right? Gets legally complicated quickly.
It really does. And then, keeping with the theme of things going where they shouldn't,
What now?
a truck spilled its load. Waste. All over Ackley Road and State Road 64.
Ugh. Not what you want to see on your morning commute. That caused a bit of a backup.
And a cleanup job, for sure. More than just messy, it can be a hazard.
Okay, on to June 26th. Animals, alarms, and some interesting observations.
Let's start with the animal one. Midday, 12:32 p.m. Caller reports neighbors chasing a dog
Yeah.
with a fishing net.
A fishing net. For a dog! Seriously!
That was the report. But, the dispatcher calmly pointed out they were probably just trying to catch the poor things safely.
Right. Like, what else do you use if you don't have a proper catch pole? Still, the image.
It's memorable, isn't it? Shows how perception can be everything.
We also had the usual sprinkle of 9/11 hang-ups.
Always a few. One from Wildman Arts early AM, another from a driver. Phone was okay.
And my favorite, the phone that fell off a car bumper in Langlade County and dialed 911 on impact.
Huh? That's a new one. Modern problems require modern accidental emergency calls.
Poor dispatchers. Every hang-up needs a follow-up, right? Ties up resources.
It really does. It's a constant thing they deal with.
Over in Langlade County, something a bit more techy. Homeowner on Branch Road gets a phone alert.
Yeah, motion detected. Said a female was walking in their yard.
So deputies responded.
Yep, check the whole property. Camper, other buildings, all secure. False alarm.
Raises that question, though. All these cameras and alerts, helpful or just making us jumpy?
It's a balance, isn't it? Security versus maybe overreacting to every little thing. Police have to check it out regardless.
And then some real human drama unfolding. County Road X, multiple calls.
Ah, yes, the civil dispute. Man told to leave by the homeowner after an argument, and his probation status got involved.
Apparently. Then more arguments about getting his property back later. Just layers of issues. In small town life, sometimes it feels like a soap opera playing out in the police log.
It can seem that way. These reports capture those messy, complicated moments.
And the day ends with something quintessentially Wisconsin.
Let me guess. Deer.
Bingo. Accident on State Road 55. Caller hit a deer, airbags deployed.
Oof. Yeah, that's a constant hazard up here, unfortunately. Glad the caller was able to report it.
Okay, June 27th. Harassment in the modern age, some sad local stuff, and highway issues.
Right. Starts early again, 5:56 a.m. Harassment complaint.
What kind?
Met someone on an app. Now getting unwanted contact.
Ugh. That's happening everywhere, isn't it? Online connections leading to real-world problems.
Yeah, it's a huge part of harassment cases now. Police have to deal with digital trails, texts, app messages. It's changed things.
Then something just very local and kind of sad. 6:20 a.m.
The request about the cat.
Yeah. Removal of a deceased cat in front of the Antigo bakery on 5th Avenue. It's just those little specific details, Ties it right to the community.
It does. It's part of the less pleasant side of public services, dealing with things like that, maintaining the space.
And the neighbor wars continue. Another harassment complaint, this time at the safety building, 7:54 a.m.
Verbal comments, texts. Sounds like an ongoing feud.
Right. Living next door can be great, or it can be this. Especially when you can't easily avoid each other.
Exactly. These things fester sometimes.
Shifting gears a bit, Lost and Found, road trip edition.
Oh, yeah?
Someone reported losing a backpack, fell out of their boat while they were driving north on Highway 45.
Out of the boat while driving. How does that... Oh, maybe towing the boat.
Must have been. Just poof. Backpack, gone on the highway. Things escape so easily when you're moving.
True. Hope they got it back.
And then drama at a landmark. The Opera House.
What happened there?
A report for bail jumping. Someone violated a court order, tried to contact the person who reported them.
So breaking the rules of their release?
Yeah.
And it happened or was reported in relation to the Opera House.
Yeah. Just shows how these historic spots are still part of everyday life, including the not-so-great parts.
History meets modern legal issues.
Okay, June 28th, we've got parks, pets, and fireworks.
Sounds like summer. Let's start with the park. Castle Park, 3:21 a.m.
Officer finds liquor and disposes of it.
Left behind after a late-night rendezvous. Or ditched quickly.
Who knows? But yeah, probably trying to avoid open container issues. Officer nipped that in the bud.
Standard procedure. Keeping public spaces clear.
Then, a whole bunch of dog calls. Seems like the community was really looking out for animals that day.
What were they?
Well, dogs reported in a hot car at Walmart, windows up. Thankfully, that usually gets resolved quickly.
Good. What else?
A neighbor's dog growling, pawing at a deteriorating fence. Trying to get through, maybe?
Could be. Or just stressed.
And another check on a dog tied to a porch. Officer confirmed it was healthy, had water, just a routine check prompted by a call.
That's good. It really shows people are paying attention to animal welfare and making those calls matters.
Even the Antigo Public Library made the blotter. Theft reported there at 2:51 p.m.
See? Nowhere is totally immune. Even quiet places like libraries deal with petty crime.
And then, as evening sets in, boom. Yep. Multiple complaints, starting around 9 p.m. including a report of illegal explosive fireworks near East 10th and Mary.
Ah, the big stuff. Did they catch anyone?
Sounds like they spoke to some people, warned them, and they agreed to stop.
That's the eternal question, right?
Hmm.
When does celebration become a nuisance or dangerous? It's a fine line.
Always is, especially around the 4th. Okay, June 29th. This day had some truly unique combinations.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Get this, McDonald's drive-thru, 9:57 a.m., two-car accident. Property damage only, but still.
Okay, happens. Drive thrust can be tight.
But wait, there's more. 11:18 a.m., same location, McDonald's drive-thru again. 911 hang-up call.
From the same place, was it related?
Apparently not. Log says confirmed business as usual.
So just a random hang-up shortly after an accident at the same spot. What was going on at Mickey D's that morning?
Right, must have been a chaotic morning rush. Just paints a picture of these busy hubs.
It really does.
Also on the 29th, proof that not every late-night car check is nefarious.
The napping driver.
Yep, 3:19 a.m. Officer checks a suspicious vehicle. Guy's just catching some Z's.
Happens all the time. Better safe than sorry to check it out, though.
Then more dog adventures. It was a big week for dogs.
Seems like it. What happened this time?
Golden retriever and a husky found loose got detained. Then later, a call about a loose dog potentially having issues with a loose husky or shepherd mix.
Dog on dog. Potential conflict. Always tricky.
And later that evening, a hound-type dog was caught by someone, returned to its owner. With a reminder about loose laws, probably.
Good outcome.
Yeah.
Just shows loose dogs are a constant issue animal control and police deal with. Keep your pets secure, folks.
Okay, switching to scams. We had a couple on the 29th.
Unfortunately common. What were they?
Someone got scammed trying to rent a truck. Lost money.
Ouch. Online rental scams are definitely a thing. Deceptive ads, fake deposits.
And Kiewit Trip on 64 reported getting a fake bill. Could be linked to identity theft, the report noted.
Interesting. Yeah, counterfeit money is one thing, but if it's tied to a person's info somehow, that's another layer. Shows scams hit individuals and businesses, online and in person.
And then some slightly bizarre property damage reports.
Go.
One vehicle scratched up, possibly by rocks thrown by kids. Another car with a broken rear window.
Hey.
Believed to have been caused by a rock flung from a lawnmower.
A lawnmower rock breaking a window.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk about unlucky. Or maybe lawn care gone wild, like you said.
Right, just freak accidents sometimes.
How did the day end?
On a surprisingly chill note, an officer checked on some employees hanging out in their cars at the Dairy Queen after work.
Just hanging out?
Yep. All quiet, just a little snapshot of local life, after-hours hangout.
Nice contrast to the rest of the day's events.
All right, last day in this batch, June 30th. Lakeside wanderings and lockouts.
Sounds about right for summer. How did it start?
Just after midnight, officers spoke with someone walking through the campsites at Lick Park, then advised another group to move along from Hudson Street Park a bit later.
Standard park patrol stuff, making sure people aren't camping out or causing trouble after hours.
But then things got more serious later in the evening. 8:04 p.m., Fifth Avenue and Lincoln Street. Traffic stop led to a probable cause search and an arrest. So the officers had enough reason to believe a crime was happening to justify a search. Shows how routine stops can escalate.
Exactly. It's a reminder of the serious enforcement side that underlies all these community interactions. Not every stop is just a warning.
Then we swing back to the everyday frustrations. Lost items and lockouts.
Ah, the classics.
Lost cell phone at Kretz Park. Good news, though. Someone turned it in, got returned to the owner.
Nice. Faith in humanity restored, one lost phone at a time.
But then the lockouts. Aldi parking lot, 12:19 p.m. Keys locked in a running car.
Okay.
With a dog inside.
Oh, no. Poor pup. That becomes an emergency call, right? Especially if it's warm.
Definitely. Hope they got in quick. Then another lockout later. St. John's Catholic Church. Just one of those days for keys, I guess.
Police often end up playing locksmith in those situations, especially with a pet involved.
And one more fraud report to round out the week.
What kind this time?
Citizen got a letter about a denied loan
Okay.
that they never applied for.